Hey, we're here to give you feedback on your run. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to DM either of us directly or ping us in your rip thread. I'm here with Mavu, and I forgot to hit or I hit the recording hotkey, so we've already seen the run and done like a full review of it. Um, but obviously this is going to be the first time that you see it. Um, Overall, it's doing that thing again. That's weird. Um,
I think that's just Twitch dropping frames,
yeah,
and it doesn't correct it in the VOD.
yeah, it's weird. Um, anyway, I did like this play on like going over closer to the golem to get wood and everything. Um, but I also think that you over grab wood here. Like I just don't think it's necessary to grab 3 logs.
Yeah, I think I said before, mining for your tools there before getting your third log, grabbing the stone below the door means you can use the door and one other block to do your pillar up to kill the golem. Just saves you blocks.
Yeah, like the door and like the crafting table that you'd make with the
Yeah,
2 logs. Like still kill it with the sword and everything. Hit it with the crit it with an axe while you're up there, but then start using the sword because of the DPS.
also, we should be looking around for a lava pool here.
Yeah, in F5. I don't think we mentioned that, but that's great comms.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we
this
end
is
up
where we should
grabbing.
grab this bed. Yeah, we grab the door cobblestone anyway.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that either. It's like, yeah, just grabbing that bed there. Like, spoiler alert for those that haven't seen this run, because I know that other people watch feedback from other runners. This bed would be so nice later in the run, actually.
Yeah.
um, and it's just right there. It's in your face. How many logs is that? Is that 8? 9. Okay, I like it for like block reasons. Random ass zombie again. Yeah, I don't think we had many notes on this part, but definitely like looking around for the lava pool.
Oh, one thing, toggling hard when you enter a village seed so that the fire
Oh,
spreads
true.
faster.
Yeah,
I always forget about that.
I do too. Like I know it's correct, and it's just still not in my memory to do it. I think he's scanning desert here as well. Like if we had an
Yeah,
eye tracker, it's
I
definitely just like okay, reading right to left or sorry, left to right, and then obviously hits that. I also liked. Okay, I'll just wait and be patient for it. But like, there's 2 gravel right there, and I like that you built it off of that. I think runners in general neglect like the natural block placed. Um, in
they do it slightly wrong though, because they should break one gravel, then place the water where that was, and
Yeah.
then break through there. But it's still good.
Okay. I'm a fan of thin E-ray because by the time that you like turn your counter on and like pause the game, like you're like on pretty high. Oh, hold on. This is actually something that we missed again. Holy shit. Um like pausing like in this portal frame, like throwing out blocks is just so unnecessary, but turning on your F3 menu or yeah, F3 menu is um like these blocks like don't aren't really like inventory clutter. Like they can give you height and everything. But
Yeah.
like
I'm
the
assuming it's just like miss hotkey when trying to press that offhand or something.
Maybe, but either way, like my first thing always is the F3 menu, so that way there's not this like odd little like there's a ton of entities that load immediately, and like it takes them a second to like hit the F3 key, as well as like they move forward as well. So there's just like the opportunity for a ton of mobs to spawn that aren't Bastion mobs. But because you're at like 93 mobs at this point, I'd still like I wouldn't necessarily like E-Ray like this. I'd use Thin for it just because like it's still indicative of a Bastion to me, but yeah. Another thing is we saw the fort. So I'm thinking, this is a really nice home portal seed to me. So that's in the back of my mind. Again, foreshadowing for later. Bastion's right there. Obviously, we know this is stables, but if you didn't, there's this little window into the Bastion that we get, where I'll go over it in a second. Um, but like the wall across from the chests, if it has netherrack, like inside the like rampart, it's gonna be stables. But if it's like more protruding out here, it's gonna be bridge. Either way, obviously this is stables. And another thing that I didn't mention but we can see is that there's another rampart over here. So this is a double single, or Jesus Christ, double triple bridge.
Double single.
Yeah, clearly single chests only. With this chest, you have hitboxes on. You are able to tell where you can and can't loot the chest from, but like I just feel like you bail on that like pretty quick. Another thing that I said in review, like just overall patterns with it is like since you know that this is a double triple, and you're gonna just dig down here anyway to get to the gold, you can just like before you break this last block here, mine that netherrack, mine the block, and or hard toggle. So that way you can like encourage those pigs down there like that. I don't think that I don't think either of us thought that going back up here to check this one chest was like the best thing, especially because you have an entire other triple to go for. Like if you wanted to like go and grab that after you mined the other ramparts worth of gold, I think that that's more okay. But like by the time that you're done looting this and mining back down, your pigs are pretty much almost done, I feel. Just because you have 4 gold blocks to trade. And then the other thing is like just knowing where you have to mine in for like this configuration of Bastion. Like it's just not here on like right triple to middle triple. Like it's over here, which you end up digging, but it takes you a minute and realization of like, oh shit, I failed like that dig in to like realize, I guess.
Yeah, here you definitely should be looting the chests and pearl hanging towards the fortress. Like that's a lot more important to overlap than sorting your inventory. Because you can do that in the fortress, or while you're going to the fortress, you've got so much more time to do that. And now I don't know if you've finished trades, but you've almost finished them at the very least. and none of this time is being overlapped.
Here, this like bastion to fort terrain management, I think like has some like decisions that could be made differently. So, for example, like right about here, you see your home portal. No, it was like slightly before that, wasn't it? Yeah, like right here, you see your home portal. No, where the fuck is it?
It was like right when you.
Oh yeah, right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
That's funny. But you see your home portal, and like you also knew that the fort was like more this direction, just based off of that first look of everything. So like heading this way is still good. I think where you're misplaying terrain management starts is purling down here instead of just keeping height. Because in purling down to like lava lake level, you know that you're starting low on the fortress, and all you can see really is fort leg, and not necessarily spawner. Like you get all of the same information you would up top down here, except you're missing out on information that you would have from getting up top. And also, like, the pearl's worth of damage coming down here is just unnecessary if you can just pearl directly onto the fort.
Yeah, and you've already got a spawner, so you should definitely be lowering your render distance to try and get some just close stray spawns at the very least. Um, Obviously, I can tell you to use an iron sword here. Um, it's a little bit mechanically intensive, but it's a lot faster
Yeah,
than
well,
just a stone axe.
it, it doesn't even necessarily have to be. It's just like, with four of these guys, you just like crit all of them once, and then switch to the sword, and then just buzzsaw the rest of them. Like, if you want to like get the most optimal time save, it's just like crit, hit, or sorry, axe crit, sword hit, or I can't speak. Axe crit, sword crit, and then like going like just like targeting a blaze at a time. But it's also totally fine if you want to like crit all of these guys once and then just knock them all down with the sword. Um, but since we're just electing to use the axe here, I think that double critting them is wrong because all you need is like one crit plus one regular hit, and two things happen when you double crit. One, you're jumping, so you're like using more food, which in this run isn't necessarily an issue. Um, but the other thing that happens is you're like in hitting the space bar when you could be hitting the attack key or attack button on your mouse. You're losing time by doing that as well. Now getting into mining order. Um, I consider two things here. One is like where I'm at in the spawner. Uh, and two is well, I guess three things. One is explosive count, which is already a non-starter because you only have 4 explosives, which is why getting that blaze or that bed in the village would have paid dividends for this run. So that way you can just immediately blaze bed and like not really pay it a second thought. Um, the other one is position and spawner. Like if I'm starting back here, I might just break those in the back. But if this guy's spinning like kind of quickly in the middle, I would get out of there and just wait for another spawn. Because the way that you end up like um, mining the spawner isn't like ideal.
One thing I think we forgot to mention was you should have Pearl hung to your home portal, probably before even entering the fortress,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, and looking around for another spawner as well.
Yeah, it's it's like subjective if you want to force a second spawner, but at least looking around for one. It's a very open fortress. It's like a good likelihood you'll find one, like without even leaving the spawner.
Oh, here's something that we didn't mention the first go around. They're on 5 right now.
Oh yeah,
You could definitely just like force it for the home portal and then just like try to play for an even quicker run.
yeah. I guess if they're playing for sub 10, leaving on 5 is like the correct play, but if they're playing for sub 11, waiting for 6 is
Totally
completely
fine.
fine.
Yep. And here's where like food conservation has been good pretty much the whole run. But since we have 9 bread at this point in time, you just can play this part really, really aggressively. Um, like I'm talking like you could pearl up there, pearl. I mean, obviously the thing to do would be like pearl hang to your home portal, like before you even get to the fort. But since you didn't, like pearl here, pearl there, pearl down to your home portal, all while eating and everything, so that way you're not dead, obviously. But like you could burn like 2 or 3 bread on this like part of it alone. Um, because like if you break this endgame into thirds, it's like you could waste, not even waste 3, just like burn 3 here, get your shit in the overworld, come back, like use another like 3 or 4 there, and then by the time you're in the end, you have like 2 bread left, which is more than enough food. So just like pushing your end game as quick as you can, and like cashing in that like really good food management that you've been practicing clearly. Wait, I'm crazy. Do they only have 13 pearls? Or 19 pearls? Yeah, they do. Um, I don't know. I just make all 12 of them here, I feel. Like, we're not going for 0. Oh, here's the next thing. Like, with endgames and everything, like, first of all, blind pearl doesn't matter too much. Like, you're on full health. You have plenty of food still. So, like, even if you, like, take that pearl and then also have to pearl clutch because this is, like, solid beneath you, it's totally fine. But the thing is, when you're falling like this, you have to get an awareness of your surroundings, so that way you can throw your next pearl even better. Um, like this, I think that you're just like pretty offline for where you should be throwing a pearl. I think we deduced that these lava falls here are probably the best spot for it. Um,
It's hard to tell from this angle, but when you're falling down, you can see that it extends much closer, so like have an easier pearl to hit.
yeah. But even then, it's just like,
It just looks better as well, I think. Like you can see this floor there to land on.
yeah. But even then, it's like we see the surface of the lava here, and like just putting in an F3 check just for like where you should go, like I think is also just correct here. Chunk borders as well, just to make like the purling process as accurate as you can. Since like having chunk borders on gives you like a frame of like a point of reference to throw stuff at or throw stuff near. So And then obviously like missing this pearl is just like pretty slow as well. But again, like you have the food that you can just like deal with it with, and you're not like using it. Like you're just electing to build to it, which is just slower as well. And just while I'm harping on the food point, like this stronghold is just like a really good like pearl here and then you're in, right? But instead like creeper explosion building just like slower.
I guess something that's more applicable for all strongholds is when you've got the food, just purling straight at the stairs of the portal room is usually going to mean you're never going to get trolled by silverfish as well. Like,
True.
'cause they can spawn on the stairs, KB you back, and you lose like 2 seconds. Obviously, you get a good spawn here, but it can be an annoying time loss.
Anyway, pretty standard enter into the end. I mean, you were well, I guess you were caged, and again, like since you're just continuing to save your food, like the later you get into the run, the less food actually matters. Um, unless some wild shit happens. Um,
Yeah, like 5.5 hearts, 6 bread. That's like over 20 hearts. You just don't need that much for an end fight.
mhm. I think the main misplay of this end, like could have ended up being just not immediately like straight lining the fountain to set up stuff. The reason being, like obviously later on in this, like you have to deal with this like pretty annoying breath right here. You can kind of see it. You'll see it like yeah, you'll see it again here in a minute. Um, but um, like when you go to set it up, it fireballs you, and that could just be an entirely missed perch because there's breath in the fountain. Um, another like small thing is when setting up anchors and everything. Like you only need one obsidian, so that way you can explode shit off of it. Um, and like what am I saying here? Like right side obby, like the correct side of obby. Um, what what dragon was this? Was this a front dragon?
Um, I think so.
Yeah, it's front dragon. If it's front dragon at all, like any of the like 4 and 8 chances for a front dragon, you just place it on the right. And then if it's a back dragon at all, you just place it on the left side. So all you need is this I think it's this side of obsidian. I can't like be for sure. Um but like if you're entering in like over here, just place this obsidian and then just like put a soul sand. I think both respawn anchors are still totally fine. Um just one obsidian. It reduces bed damage slightly. Another thing for this one cycle, real quick, is like getting a sword and then also your axe on the hotbar because who knows what could happen. You could miss time of bed, an Enderman could like fuck with you or whatever, and then all of a sudden like the dragon's on like lower HP or like still has HP left. Um, just like swinging a sword at it is like the quickest way to get the HP down and everything. Um, and then finishing it off with an axe hit is just also really really good. So um I forget what did we say in conclusion, like stuff. I think we I think
Um,
we honestly like wrapped it all up first try in this feedback.
yeah, I guess just when you've got so much food, make sure you use it effectively. It seems like
Yeah, like
a recurring
pre-Bastion.
theme.
Yeah, pre-Bastion, try not to use much food. Obviously, this is a village seed, so it's a little bit different. Like you can definitely like use a bit more food. Um, but like I like describing food usage as like gas in a race car. Like you're leaving some gas in the tank here. Like you don't need to save any gas. Like it's a race. You can just burn all of it pretty much, you know? So I think that's what we got.